Yeah, I've been sent a couple Regina Rodrick ships, I guess. Yeah, I'm pro. It makes sense to me. It's sort of like the Barbie house and the goth house and like Santa Monica or Barbenheimer. Yeah, no, I get it. They seem right for each other. To come back and do films in Canada is like all I've been dying to do. So when Chandler reached out for Mylan Kicks, I was, one, just overjoyed, but two, I was such a fan of I Like Movies. I was like dying and clawing my way to get into Mylan Kicks. So always eager to come back and do more. What appealed most to me about Mylan Kicks was its authenticity and how personal it was. I had experienced that in some ways, going from Toronto to Montreal, like during like spring break or whatever, with your fake ID, and pissing off everyone by speaking English by accident and not knowing why they're so mad. But now I realize it's like we should have learned French, and that it's really on us. It just felt so full of these incredibly detailed moments that I related to, and I know many people have had those experiences, but also there was like a real self-reflection that Chandler was doing through the film that I think she's done in I Like Movies and this, that is so self-aware and so beautiful and raw and messy. And also just to play a guy that was just like a normal dude in a band who didn't believe he could find love again because of his own sort of like internal prison that he's created around his little secret was really exciting. Filming in Montreal is the greatest. The crew, the people, the food, the culture, it's one of the best cities, not just in Canada, like in the world. We all really felt like we were making something special because of just the energy between everyone on set. And I have like so many friends from that now that I will know for the rest of my life. Working with Barbie was amazing. It's like you're hosting a party being the lead of a film and setting that tone because, you could really make the party bad. It'd be very easy to. And she made it the greatest party ever. She just made everyone feel so welcome and safe to explore. And then, on the side, she took us to the Charlie XCX concert, which I was probably the biggest unk of the group. Maybe I shouldn't admit that. It was a lot of fun. I don't know, she like rented a party bus. We all went there, we did that, we went karaokeing. It was just like one constant hang sesh. The orange julep is iconic, and I think we need to bring back more architecture of buildings that look like the thing they're selling. That's just a personal opinion. I don't think it's that hot of a take. I'm like, we need to go back and make some sort of, have a little bit of flavor to our buildings here. It should be an orange if you're selling orange juice. There was an orange julep scene. I think the movie was running like way too long, and I'm so glad that there's at least the nod to it with the little Polaroid next to the Big Shiny Tunes CD, which to me was the greatest callback, because Big Shiny Tunes rocked my world. But yeah, Orange Julep was it was iconic. I feel like it's also way further out than I remember. Like, it's really just not in the city. So I guess that's my big criticism of the Orange Julep. Talking about Christopher Nolan, he's such an enigma, and I think he likes it that way. So I also don't. I'm like, and I could never even be able to pierce like behind that curtain and say anything that I think he wouldn't want. But I'm like, I think he likes the mystery, or at least that's my perception of him. When I read Oppenheimer, I had to go into this like blank room that was closed off, and right before I went in, I saw him like through the sliver of a door of his office, looking up at some stuff, and then looking over, and then the door closing. And it was just like sort of seeing into what he was doing with Oppenheimer, of like, he loves making films so much, and you can really feel it through his process. I think like that old sort of show business bigness is something that he's keeping alive, and thank God, because it's so special working on one of his sets. Everything was so practical. I know they built out a replica of like the T labs of where all the scientists were, but we were also shooting in Los Alamos, exactly where those scientists were. Like details down to like the background performers were like grandkids of scientists that had worked on the Manhattan Project. So you could like turn to them and be like, is that equation correct? And they'd be like, everything but the last last two numbers. It felt like the most freeing but also precise way of working that I've ever seen. He had such precision, but then also was following the magic of the moment in different times. Like I know that like scenes would change around at times where it was like if the light is hitting outside differently, then it would pivot to like, oh, there's a gust of wind over there right now. Everyone's so present because you're not really, you want to be on set and you want to be social with all of these like geniuses that are working together, fostering this feeling of like we're making a movie right now. There's nothing else that matters in the world. It's this. It just creates such I don't know. It's like a spark that is so special. I can't even describe it. It's incredible that he made all of these discussions about science so tense-filled. And like the amount of stakes, I was blown away by how he was able to really like just thread this needle of tension and drama. Also, Cillian Murphy is so incredible in that movie. You know, watching him do that in person, it's so natural and so naturalistic and so real. And then to see it on the big screen and to catch even more of these details that the IMAX camera and Hoyte and Christopher Nolan like captured was also just such a beautiful experience to see him go from like, oh, this is just a guy like talking. He's like the bomb, which is the radius of this, to it. I don't know. Every single little tiny expression in his eyes and like in his lips and mouth. I don't know. Yeah, I'm gushing. The IMAX camera was crazy because I mean, one like Hoyte is like carrying it, and it seems to be like 5 billion pounds. It was interesting because we were doing IMAX camera scenes, but it felt so loose as well at the same time. Like, I really can't explain enough like how natural it all felt on set and how free-flowing it was going from one take to the next or one setup to the next, because they really had it like a well-oiled machine. I couldn't fully understand the scope because everyone was just kind of in this like flow state while you're also just trying to not mess up the take. Going from that, which felt like this just, fluid experience, to seeing this massive film, it blew my mind. I mean, the moment I saw the trailer, I was like, holy shit. I expected something incredible and masterful, but it blew me away. I mean, The Dark Knight is definitely like, I think one of the best films ever. And then, I mean, yeah, I remember Inception, seeing that in IMAX as well, like changed. I remember getting the script afterward, being like, how did he do that? Also, just on a story level. Memento as well, like really early on, when I was like, I think I was like a teenager or something when I saw that. It opened up my mind of like, oh, how storytelling can be told. It's incredible how he's able to just work with time and space. That YouTube video of him talking about like, jumping and closing in is just, there's such a science to it that is so masterful that I should have paid more attention in science class. I brought my American girlfriend to see Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie. Now she's gonna have to get into a lot more Canadian cinema. I thought Nirvana was like one of the funniest films, not just of like the year, just like in recent memory. And I can't remember my life much, but I do know that it was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. The Sky Dome stunt was, and also when he was one of the most jaw-dropping moments I've seen in a theater in a long, long time.